Hello and welcome to Easy Like a Sunday Morn. I'm your host, TheShaneLockwood, and this is episode 22. Today is Sunday, August 17th, 2014, and today's show will not be monetized. And the reason it won't be monetized is because I'll be talking about a few celebrities that have passed during the week. And the first is Lauren Becall, who died at the age of 89, and she was a Hollywood starlet, a pin-up girl to a lot of people, but I think she was more of the previous generation rather than my generation. And the other celebrity that passed away is Robin Williams, who passed away at the age of 63, and the tragedy of that is that it was a suicide. And the even greater tragedy is the media circus that surrounded it all. You know, you've got other celebrities coming in and saying, they're just cashing in, really. Talking about suicide is wrong and it's selfish and all this sort of stuff. And I don't believe it is. I believe there's a lot of self-focus that leads to suicide. But yeah, to say it's selfish just after somebody died, just to get your face on television or on Facebook or something, is pretty horrible and disrespectful. I'm not going to mention any celebrities. There was a YouTuber that did a tribute that you could tell was fake, had monetization on it. This caused a bit of a stir within the YouTube community. And so when they were called him on it, he was like, oh, look, maybe his family should have told him that they loved him and this could have prevented it and all this sort of stuff. And then there was another video addressing some of his haters and things like that, saying, oh, look, you know, I've got the money, who cares? Really nasty stuff. Now, Robin Williams is survived by his daughter Zelda and his wife. She had recently had to close her Twitter account because of the nastiness that was going on. People were like emailing her photos and stuff, just like, no, look, this is just not on. Absolutely not on at all. Now, to talk about what Robin Williams was working on, he was working on a show called The Crazy Ones, and he's working on another movie, I think, as well. But The Crazy Ones was a show that got axed after one season. Now, to me, it was like Robin Williams Off the Hook, that show. I saw a couple of episodes. I'll have to go back and watch the entire season. I'd always been meaning to, but university and other things got in the way. What they would do is they'd let Robin ad-lib, and then they would get the best takes and then use the funniest lines. So I hope that when the show comes out on DVD, which it should do, that there'll be plenty of bloopers and like a blooper reel and stuff like that, because I think that would be interesting to look forward to, look through and have a bit of a laugh at. Now, to me, growing up, Robin Williams was the star of Mork and Mindy, or one of the stars of Mork and Mindy. He played the title role of Mork, and his on-screen partner, I guess, Mindy McConnell, was played by Pam Dowber. And Pam Dowber left television after that series, after Mork and Mindy was axed after four seasons. And she went off and raised, a couple of sons and things like that. So she was a stay-at-home mum, while her husband continued acting and things like that. What happened was this year she came back for a one-off special episode of The Crazy Ones. So they got back together after so many years of, something like 30 years of television, to come back, and that was shot earlier this year, so I don't know whether the show is still airing or what the story is, whether it's on DVD or not. It's called The Crazy Ones. Do check it out. It's Robin Williams at his best. It stars Sarah Michelle Gellar from Buffy the Vampire Slayer as well, so it's worth checking out. What else was happening? Oh, he was also diagnosed with early onset Parkinson's disease, and I don't know whether the combination of the show being axed and that diagnosis led to him having a bout of depression or not. I don't know. If you are interested, also Night of the Museum, there's a third one. I saw a trailer for the third film, and he stars in that as well. So I hope that they put like a little tribute before or after the film in Robin's honour. Oh dear. Yeah, very heartbreaking stuff indeed. And yeah, if you do want to do a tribute, please don't monetize it. This isn't monetized. Normally when a celebrity passes away, I avoid doing any sorts of videos or mentioning the celebrity at all, because I don't think I could do them justice. But at the same time, I think it's wrong to feed off their death. Anyway, on to bigger and better news. As a result of last week's interview with Storm, the 14-year-old boy, I lost a subscriber to my YouTube channel, and I don't know why. If you don't know who he was a computer programmer that was working on a piece of software that would streamline both his parents' business and another company that they were working through as clients, or working with. They were basically mutual clients of each other. And you know, there's an absolutely awesome idea that he was working on, and I can't figure out why the person would unsubscribe to the channel. Maybe it was because I said thank you for directing traffic to my channel, and that was addressing a hater that I had, and maybe that person no longer listens to the podcast, which is good. But it's a shame, really, that people would get upset by the fact that I was interviewing a 14-year-old. Now, it did raise a few flags in the back of my head. It was not my idea to interview him at all. It was the idea of his mother, and we had permission, we had supervision, and so on and so forth. I'm not in the habit of having anybody under 18 on my show. However, if they want to submit, sound bites and things like that I can use, then by all means. But for people to think that something untoward was going on, it's just that sickness is in their heads, not in mine. It's not something I planned on doing, and it's probably not something I'll do again in the future. But yeah, I had permission. His mother was there the whole time, so it's not like a big deal. Now that I'm talking about Storm, the program that he was working on was actually sold to the client that he was working on it for, and they will be using it, and which is great. And I think it streamlines what they're doing. And for confidentiality reasons, I can't say what they were doing. It was legal. Don't worry about that. But it was streamlining both ends of not just what his parents were doing, but what their client was doing. So it just streamlines the whole thing. The whole thing's a lot faster, and instead of taking several minutes to be able to do something, it can be done in a blink of an eye. And that's amazing for a 14-year-old to write a program that could be beneficial to both parties is amazing. But I think not just that client, he can adjust that program and that software to be of benefit to other clients that may want to use it. But then again, maybe the software is what gives them the competitive edge over other companies that do the same thing. So that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, and I think that there will be a few teething problems as the secondary company comes in and starts using the system, as always, because it takes a while to learn a system, a program, and methodologies and stuff like that. And while I was there, I began thinking about my own life and some of the decisions that I've made. I've been playing small. I call it playing small, where you purposely, rather than grandstanding and saying, oh, look at me, aren't I fantastic, there's a tendency to retreat and just go under the radar. And it's a survival technique. But it doesn't serve me any real purpose in the long term. And it's something that I have to look at and address, especially now that I'm graduating. We've got a graduation ceremony on Wednesday, and I'm nervous. Hopefully it'll just be a photo opportunity. Oh, no, it's not. It's a full day thing, isn't it? So that's going to go for hours and hours and hours and hours. And there'll be sweaty palms and whatever else. I'm thinking of, I'd shaved off the goatee, except for the hair on the chin. But what I might do is shave that off just in case someone takes my photo at the graduation, because that'll be something that'll be around for a while. I can always grow, facial hair again. It's not a big deal. Let me know what you think of the facial hair. Some people say to keep it. Some people say to get rid of it. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. So, well done, Storm and his family for doing that with the program. What else? Oh, almost forgot this. I've been messing around on Twitter and having a grand old time, just making hilarious comments and stuff like that. And someone had put that they had, what did they do? They were downloading a certain podcast, another podcast in Adelaide, that produces a show every week. And these guys are professional ex-radio people. And the comment was that every time they go to download an episode of the podcast, they would get 2 episodes instead of 1. And I made a comment that you'll hear later coming up that gets referenced to by the other podcast group, and they broadcast it on air. So I'm going to play that for you now, but I thought I'd just give you like a heads up of like what that segment was all about. The guy that you'll hear is Steve Davis talking, and you can hear that now.
I must also say that Shane Lockwood, who's one of our fellow podcasters here in Adelaide, chipped in on this conversation we're having publicly about these episodes downloading a few times. I love his comedy. He said, here's an idea, share the extra episodes with a friend.
Nice.
I like the way he thinks. Classic line.
That was Steve Davis and the crew over at Another Boring Thursday Night in Adelaide. And if you want to send them a tweet, you can send them a tweet go to Twitter, and it's at Boring Adelaide as one word. And you too could be mentioned in their podcast. I think all you've got to do is tweet the word boring and Adelaide in a sentence, and they will vote on it as to whether it's both positive or negative. Next weekend, next Saturday on the 23rd of August, there is an event called Fork in the Road, and it's to be held in Victoria Square. Now, in Adelaide, we have several areas of grassland, parkland, that have been sectioned off, and one of them is Victoria Square, and it's right in the middle of the city, and it helps to lower the levels of pollution and stuff like that. Although when the city was founded, that wasn't part of the consideration. It was a bit more so that people could have somewhere to relax and just chill out. Now, what they're going to do with Fork in the Road, it starts at 12 p.m. and it goes through to 9 p.m. But what it is, it's like every food van you can imagine, right, will be at Victoria Square. So you can buy a whole heap of, different foods and stuff like that. There's a wide range of stuff, and there'll be a whole heap of people there. So do go down on next Saturday, 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. Hopefully I'll be there. And there's heaps of stuff for kids. There's something called Game Truck Australia, and I don't know what that has, but it's probably got like a whole heap of games and stuff on a truck. No idea what that is, but they've got a craft table, ball games, totem tennis, table tennis, live music. Bring your chairs, bring your rugs, and just have a nice day out with the family. And as promised, I said to my good friend Gus, who some of you may know, that I would promote his Tough Car Charity Toy Run 2014 on the show, so that he will get more people going to that. If you've got a tough car, that means it's a car that's been hotted up with a super fast engine and all the rest of it, come along to the Tough Car Charity Toy Run. It starts at the Jeps Cross Homemaker Centre on Main North Road, and at 17:30, which is 5:30, on the 1st of November. And what you have to do, if you want to be part of it, is buy a brand new toy, because these toys are going to be donated to kids with childhood cancer or cystic fibrosis. And the toys need to be clean, because things like teddy bears and stuff can transfer diseases and flu, influenza and stuff like that. You don't want to do that for these sick kids. The toys that they're looking for are in the age range between 6 months to 10 years old, and Gus has told me that there's going to be a whole heap of prizes and trophies awarded at the end of the run. I'm not sure where they end up. It's on a football oval somewhere, but it's a fairly long drive. But why not get your tough car out, clean it up, give it a bit of a polish, and put it on display, do something good for charity, and maybe win a prize or two. But better yet is just to have your car on display with a whole heap of other cars, and people can check your car out. If you've got a tough car, why not bring it out and show it off and make everybody feel really good at the same time. The event is sponsored, because it started last year, and they had a very successful event. It's sponsored by the Lions Club, Auto Promotions, the Cystic Fibrosis Association of South Australia, Childhood Cancer, and a few other people as well that I can't read. But do get along and enjoy that little event if you've got a tough car. Now, in this week's Meme Busters, a lot of people have been sharing a meme to do with the Walmart ice cream sandwich that doesn't melt after several hours. And I think the first thing I have to say here is, when it comes to these food-based memes, they are designed to get you to stop eating certain foods, and they play on your insecurities and your fears. Oh, this ice cream doesn't melt. No, what's wrong with it? Nah. Stop. And you've got to question the source of these memes and what's going on, why they're saying this. Now, I tried to find on Snopes.com any reference to this, but I haven't been able to yet. But what I did find on Google was the reason that the Walmart ice cream sandwich didn't melt as fast as other ice cream sandwiches is because they use more cream, and also the cream that they use is almost like a plant-based gum rather than a dairy product. But that's it. It's perfectly harmless, safe to eat, and you shouldn't have any fears about eating it. It doesn't melt because there's less water to actually turn into ice, which melts in the sun. Fairly simple stuff there. So eat away, have fun with it. Okay, now I've got another one for you. This is not a meme buster, but rather it's a scam buster. And what it is, it's a BioFlow magnetherapy bracelet. You know those things, those magnetic bracelets that were popular, in the late 80s. And this is a newer version of the same scam, right? They're selling these wristwatch-looking things, plastic. It's just a plastic wristband, right? For $75. They come in different colours and things like that, with a big magnet in the middle of it. And it's no more powerful than a fridge magnet, these things. But what they do is they've got, what do you call, like a premium edition versions. So they're selling these things up to about $400 for these things. And if they can get celebrities to wear these silly things, then, it really, really, does their business really well if they can get celebrities to endorse these things. But they are a scam. The reason they're a scam is because in order to move one molecule of anything, you need a lot of power. You need a very, very powerful magnet. And they only give you this small, tiny little magnet. Now, the magnet you would need to be able to do anything like that would have to be the size of that contained within an MRI machine, a magnetic resonance imaging machine. And even they are not that powerful. They're just powerful enough to get an image of the inside of the human body, using magnetism and various other science techniques and stuff. But it's inconvenient to walk around with something the size of an MRI machine. And even from their own website, I'm not going to mention the name of the website, but it says, like About Us, in the About Us section, you've got, to date, over 1 million people worldwide have made the decision to try a product. Oh, that's terrible, isn't it? Oh, dear. Trying to find... Oh, okay. Now, there was a clinical trial. Now, by law, they have to have this sort of information available. And they go through, they're talking about the British Medical Journal to publish the results of a 2-year trial, and you scroll down, and to view the full report, please click here. And of course, they're saying that the placebo effects are particularly difficult to control because of the easy detection of magnetism, which of course is a lie. The reason that if you go to the study itself, it actually says in the study, because this is all in the fine print, mind you, you've got to go digging for this, and a lot of people aren't going to do this. They're not going to dig and dig and dig and dig. And it basically says here that the outcome of the conclusion, basically they're testing magnets on the hip and the knee, not on the wrist, not on the full body. Like these wrist bracelets are just around the wrist. Okay. And they could not tell the difference. Conclusion: pain from osteoarthritis, pain from osteoarthritis of the hip and the knee decreases when wearing magnetic bracelets. It is uncertain whether this response is due to specific or non-specific (brackets) placebo (end bracket) effects. So the results are inconclusive. So there's no scientific evidence to back this up. So why waste your money? Save yourself some money. In fact, I've probably saved you anywhere from $79 to $500, depending on what you want to spend on the bracelets. But yeah, I knew that was a scam from a long time ago. But they've just upgraded the name just to get you guys to fall for the same scam over and over and over again. Anyway, that was the Meme Busters Scam Busters segment. And I've got 5 minutes left to go. What am I going to do for those 5 minutes? What I'm going to do is tell you guys how you can get in contact with me, etc., and include the code word in just a moment. Okay, so the code word for today is the word super. S-U-P-E-R, super. And have fun with it. Leave comments in the section below if you're listening to this through YouTube and Spreaker, and I'll get your message. This show can be listened to on Spreaker, Stitcher, YouTube, iTunes, and the TuneIn app. However, I've visited the TuneIn website, and it's saying that it has like all the episodes that I've uploaded, including should be this one as well. However, Diane, a good listener, has pointed out that she couldn't get all the episodes for some reason. So hopefully, if she keeps refreshing that'll come up with all the latest ones. Should at least come up with last week's. And eventually this week. Now, I do know that there's a little bit of a delay between when this show gets uploaded and when it comes on some applications. And I'm not sure what causes that. I think that's nothing to do with my end. It's to do with the other end. With things like iTunes, YouTube, go up pretty much straight away. With YouTube, it takes like a couple of minutes for it to process, and things like that. But it'll be up fairly shortly. Now, if you want to contact me, if you would like to be on the show and to be interviewed, and you can talk about any topic you like, and I'm focusing more on illnesses, diseases, and things like depression or social anxiety disorders, those sorts of things, just to help people overcome some of those issues. If you've got anything like that you think that you'd like to talk about or you'd like to be interviewed about, now interviews go for about 20 minutes, only so I can bookend the show with anything that's going on before and after. So I might have a news section at the beginning of the episode, then the interview, and then the contact information and stuff like that. If you'd like to be on the show, you can send me a tweet on Twitter. That's at SHAIDO, that's Shido, going through twitter.com. If you want to be interviewed through Skype, you can add me on Skype at TheShaneLockwood. That's TheShaneLockwood on Skype. Just add me on Skype and I'll accept your friend request, and then we'll get to chatting and we'll record something. Now, normally when I record, it's audio only, so don't worry about what you look like, whether you got your makeup on or anything like that. It'll just be an audio conversation, so you can wear your pajamas, it doesn't matter. Now, what else? There's a Facebook group, and the link to the Facebook group is down below. There's a Stitcher app. If you've downloaded Stitcher, if you downloaded TuneIn, you should be able to find the show. You just search Easy Like a Sunday Morn on, just look it up through Google, and you or through your various apps that you're playing podcasts with. Please let me know if I'm not in your particular podcast directory app thing. Let me know in the comments down below, and I will try and put this podcast into that service. What else is there? What I might do also is include the RSS feed in the link in the description below. What you can do is if you've got a website or something like that, or one of these apps that requires this RSS feed, and you shouldn't need it, I'll give it to you so that you can cut and paste it so that as I upload this show, you get it instantly. Like a click, quick as a flash, you'll get the show instantly. I want to say thank you to everybody once again who uses the code words. They're not essential. There's just something to let me know who's listening and for how long you're listening and stuff like that. The code word for this week is the word super, S-U-P-E-R. But just everybody that listens to the show and tunes in every week, my heart goes out to the fans and the family of Lauren Becall and of Robin Williams. He made my childhood special. I think the same with people like Tom Baker, who played Doctor Who back then and stuff like that. Speaking of which, Doctor Who comes back next weekend, so set your video recorders, your DVD recorders, whatever method you use. Next weekend, Doctor Who Season 8 comes back. And that's pretty much it from me. Thank you very much for listening once again. I will see you again next week, and hopefully be a lot earlier next week. But until then, please take it easy like a Sunday morn. Bye for now.